Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing well and thanks for being here. This is a timeless reading that's for somebody out there, and my intention is that it will find the person or people it's meant for and at the right time for them. It's definitely not intended to be for everyone, so if the storyline that emerges isn't resonating with you, it's probably not your reading. You can definitely still watch the whole reading because it's always an intention of mine that if someone's drawn to one of my readings, they'll gain something from it. That could be an insight, a piece of wisdom, or just the opportunity to see something from a different perspective. So if you happen to be here, I think you're meant to be here. All right, we'll get started. We'll just do our love pause first. This is where we pause the video and send some love out into the universe. You can do this as a little Ho'oponopono prayer as well, and that involves saying the 4 sentences, thank you, I love you, I'm sorry, and please forgive me. So thanks to everyone who does this. The time to pause is now, and I'll start my reading on the next slide. And this is the spread we've got for this reading. Now, if you're interested in the decks I've used, I'll have them listed in the description box. So at the bottom of the deck, we've got the Page of Swords. So this is air sign energy. I do tend to associate it with Gemini. So this is someone who's curious, intellectual, observant, interested in learning about things. With the pages in each element, you can kind of picture them as what that element's energy would look like in a child. So with the Page of Swords, you think of someone who's like a really bright child that's very interested in what's going on around them. So they'll be watching and listening and asking questions. And air is the element that relates to the mind. So this is someone who wants to understand stuff and know stuff. So that's an interesting card to have at the bottom of the deck. We'll see where it fits in with this reading. But the card in the past position is the Knight of Wands. So this is fire sign energy. I tend to associate this one with Sagittarius. Now, the Knight of Wands is a passionate, impulsive kind of character. So this is someone who acts on whatever they feel intuitively guided to do. And they just get on their horse and go is the message really. And in this card, they're running towards something. So they've got a goal and they're actively sprinting off towards it. And because we're talking about the Knight of Wands, it's going to be something that they're passionate about. So that's the main thing, really. Now get into the card in the present position. We've got the Fool card, and that's kind of interesting because there's a child on there, and I was talking about a childlike energy at the bottom of the deck. So these two might actually connect, but we'll see. Now this Fool card is the only major arcana card in this spread, so it does strike me as significant. It's also in the central position and it's in the current position, so it's a big energy for this spread. Now the Fool represents someone starting a new cycle, so that gives me the sense that maybe something has ended for that Knight of Wands. The Fool is someone who is an unburdened, kind of carefree, optimistic energy. They're open-minded, open-hearted. It's a lovely energy. So it's someone who engages with life and immerses themselves in the experiences that they're having. They're not afraid of new experiences because they trust that the universe is guiding them. Now this card, the Fool, relates to Uranus, so it's also carrying air sign energy because you tend to think of Aquarius, Uranus ruling Aquarius. But Aquarius is a fixed sign, so the other two signs that have come up, Gemini and Sagittarius, are mutable signs. So Aquarius is a fixed sign, so maybe we're getting into something that's a bit more solid now. And I say that even though this is the Fool card. So the fixed sign energy makes me think of someone who's perhaps more clear on what they want to be. So the Fool, obviously they might seem like someone who's just going wherever and doing whatever, but maybe this person is actually choosing to be that way. So they may now just want to have the life of a free spirit. And that's interesting. But it's interesting that something probably ended. So yeah, you do get that sense of the Fool as a fresh start. So we'll see what we're talking about in a minute, hopefully. But the card in the future position is the Six of Wands, which is the card of victory, success, and recognition. And I'm seeing that this person is in a wheelchair, and it looks like they've won a race, and that person at the start was running as well. So seeing this person in a wheelchair, it actually reminds me of another reading where I had someone in a wheelchair who was on the Nine of Pentacles card. So that was another YouTube video. So it must have been another for somebody reading as well. And that was quite an emotional reading because it was looking like they ended up in a wheelchair because they'd been attacked by someone or a group of people. I can't remember exactly now, but they were also a very positive person. And so it could well be that we're talking about the same storyline. It's possible. If I can work out which reading it was, I'll try and link it in the comments because they do have a similar vibe to them. But looking at this, I mean, the person, we start off with a runner, and then the person who's winning the race, having the victory, is actually in a wheelchair. So even though there's a victory in the future, it does look like this person has suffered some kind of setback. And we got that sense with the Fool being a new beginning as well. And I'm going to say it's obviously a setback related to their physical health or their independence. And that's probably what the Fool card was about. Like the Knight of Wands had to give up on their old dream. But I do like that this card in the future is the victory card because obviously victory in the face of adversity is a beautiful thing, really, really inspiring. And I suppose that even if this reading isn't related to that other reading, that's probably what this card's image is conveying anyway, because we're seeing someone who's been determined to accomplish something and they didn't let the challenges or difficulties they face stop them from succeeding. So I'm getting the sense of this being someone, you know how they say, we're the authors of our life story. So I feel like this is someone who sees that they're writing their life story and they want it to be a good story no matter what. So I like that attitude a lot. So it looks like the Knight of Wands here had to give up on their old dream and start again as the Fool. And obviously they would have to start again as the Fool because and be open to new possibilities. Because if like with the Knight of Wands, they would have been so invested in their old dream that they really wouldn't have had anything else in their mind about the future. So there's probably never had a plan B or anything like that. So they have to become the Fool in the current energy, which is where they're exploring their world and discovering what might be possible for them and trying to work out where they might go. And I guess looking at this spread, they will find something new to start investing in, start working on. And that's the thing that's ultimately that's what they're ultimately going to become victorious with. So I feel like that Page of Swords, energy at the bottom of the deck is actually tying in with this energy, the Fool energy in the current position. And that was interesting because I was saying there was a childlike energy and then we had a child. In this current energy, this is someone who's trying to figure out what the future is going to be and what they can invest in next. Now, I'll just go through the oracle cards before we finish, but we got in that central position, we've got that Yes oracle card with the thumbs up, and that to me feels like it does relate to this person's energy because every card of our 4 tarot cards shows up as someone who's actively interacting with life in a positive way. So we have someone who actively learns, someone who actively pursues what inspires them, someone who actively engages with experiences and possibilities, and someone who actively strives to succeed. So this is a positive person who has a positive mindset. And I actually feel like the thumbs up, it might be from Spirit, like good for you. And so I do feel like maybe Spirit loves this person, really supports this person because they are such a lovely, optimistic, positive kind of person. And I'm thinking of that statement, the gods help those who help themselves. That's one of my favorite things or phrases that I carry with me. Like if you're taking the steps, then God's with you, right? So I feel like this person is someone who's always trying to make good things happen in their life, and so Spirit does support them. Now I'm going to go over to that Aboriginal card next, and it's got the keyword passionate, and this is a two. It's not two-sided, but it's got 2 halves. And so if this card was reversed, we'd have the word indifferent. So passionate is the upright, and indifferent would be the reversed meaning of that same card. Now, looking at the passionate half of the card, we see two beings kind of coming together and creating something. We see love flowing from that connection. So in this reading, I feel like this is spirit co-creating with this person, because this is a passionate person. We've seen that already. And this card is a number 7 card. So that definitely does relate to our spiritual connection. Now, the other half of the card, the indifferent side, has like an interesting image, and I don't really know how to describe it, but I'll try. But there's a central part of it that makes me think of Source being in the middle, and then there are these smaller blobs kind of around Source, and then there are these little blobs around those smaller blobs. But the thing to see is that there's nothing connecting any of those things. They're all existing as kind of isolated little blobs. But on the passionate side, the two beings, the two characters are touching. And on the indifferent side, like I said, it's like nobody's connecting. They're not connecting to each other. They're not connecting to Source. So I feel like this is about how God can see when we care about something and when we're trying hard to make something happen. And God will be happy to invest in co-creating the outcome that we want. On the other hand, if we don't really care about what we're doing, we don't really care about other people, we aren't committed to creating anything, then there's nothing for God to show up as a co-creator for, because you're not creating anything. Now, the last card here is the turtle card. And that makes me think of longevity and endurance. And the message on the card is evoke grounded ancient power. And it just is making me think that obviously life isn't about things that come easily or quickly necessarily. So the idea of slow and steady winning the race, we have someone here winning the race, but the idea of slow and steady winning the race makes me think of the Knight of Pentacles in Tarot. And that is an archetype that will just keep working on something until it's complete. And they don't worry about how long it's going to take. Now, the Suit of Pentacles is the one that relates to the element of earth, and this is the slowest moving element. So the turtle card being here is a reminder that in the earthly realm, it can take time to build something significant. It's going to take patience and commitment and dedication, and it's going to require that you don't quit when there are challenges or adversity. And the victory in this storyline, it's in the future position. It hasn't happened yet, and obviously we don't know how long it will take. We don't know when that future is. So, and also we're talking about someone here who maybe has some kind of physical condition or impairment that could potentially slow them down in some ways or create extra challenges for them. So really this victory that's in the future, it's only possible if they don't give up. Now, I do see this person here has a positive attitude. They've always had a positive attitude. And I feel like Spirit just wants them to keep being that person and to keep being someone who goes after their dreams. I think this is such a lovely story. It's very inspiring. So even if the victory is at some undetermined point in the future, we're looking at someone who's had to deal with their big dream crashing, and they've picked themselves up and they've started again. And now, right where they are now, they're in the process of trying to find a new dream that they can start working on. And really, if they have a positive mindset and passion, and then they adopt those Knight of Pentacles traits, the patience, the commitment, the dedication to keep working away at their dream, like if you combine all of that, they will ultimately succeed. And the Yes card did have the keyword probable on it. So it's like Spirit saying, yes, you're doing everything right. You're going to be heading in the right direction. And all you have to do is keep being who you are and keep going the way you always have with things in your life. And success and victory is assured. It's just who you are and the way you work at things. So that's really amazing. And because we had that idea of co-creation come in through this reading, I do feel like this person needs to know that Spirit is definitely working on their dream with them, and that's really lovely. I like that a lot. So that's really all I'm getting from this spread. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And here we are. This is our last slide. I'm sorry about my voice. It hasn't been too good through this video, but hopefully it's just a temporary thing. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a like, consider leaving a comment. And if you like watching my videos generally, please consider subscribing to the channel. It does help me a lot if you are supporting the channel. And thanks to everyone who is already subscribed. It means a lot to me to have your support. And that's it. So I will hopefully see you all in another video. Take care, everyone. Bye.